guys, Mark here. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time. I know, terrible. And I make excuses all the time, but a couple things have come down the pipe here that sort of put me off, or put me back from making any videos. A couple things. First of all, I got COVID and it really knocked the shit out of me. I was down for a couple of weeks and backed us up, but I got it. I contacted at a time when we're extremely busy at work too. So when I did get feeling better, I was putting in long hours there and didn't have a whole lot of time. Second of all, I still don't have a boat. I'm waiting for it to come. It should be here pretty soon. So I'm kind of struggling with ideas to put content together when there's no racing happening yet, of course, no boat, no projects really in the garage to speak of. And then thirdly, I kind of went through a little bit of shit where I was getting a little bit of backlash and I was getting a bit of backlash on social media for these videos and I let it get to me when I shouldn't have, and it kind of knocked the wind out of my sails. And so kind of what was happening was people were making comments about me being a newbie in the sport and what gives me the right to offer suggestions or offer information when I'm so new to the game and just sort of shit like that. And I let it get to me, and I know better than that. I've been racing a long time, and I shouldn't be, but it did. It kind of knocked the wind out of my sails, but then I got to thinking, if you've watched any of these videos, you'll also notice that I don't offer any advice on anything that I don't know anything about. I'll discuss things that I'm trying, because that's the idea of this channel, was to encourage others that are maybe new to not be afraid to dive in. I will offer advice on wiring and suggestions because I feel that I'm versed to do that. I've been doing that a very long time. Not so new to, or fairly new to boats, but I've been wiring cars, Outlaw 10.5 cars and drag radio cars and pro mods for a really long time. So I'm pretty versed on that, and I feel confident in offering suggestions there. But anything else in my videos, man, more than enough. I'm just posting stuff that I'm trying, and because I don't just pay somebody to build my shit. I do everything myself. I build my own motors. I modify my own gear cases. I'm starting to write my own fuel maps, and and these things. I do everything because I take pride in that. So, but when I fail, I'm the first to actually joke about it, because you know what? There's been a lot of fails. Trust me. I've probably made more test passes in the last 2 years than most people ever, and a lot of them were epic fails. So, anyways, regardless, and then I thought, like I said, I let it get me down. I'm not gonna lie. It knocked the wind out of myself. I didn't want to post videos, and I thought, you know what? Because for every negative comment that I get, I'll get 10 inbox messages thanking me for some advice, or maybe thanking me for a lead, or thanking me for even just making the videos and providing entertainment or promoting the drag boat world or whatever, and or motivation. Guys say, hey man, I watch your videos and then I'm not afraid to try this or try that, and so you know what, whatever, it is what it is. You're always going to get that. I think as the channel grows and maybe we get a little bit more successful at it, I'm probably going to get a whole lot more. So I just got to learn to brush it off. But anyways, so enough of that shit. So struggling with finding content to create. So I thought, you know what we're going to do here tonight? We're just going to go through, because I'm waiting on the boat to come from Jack, and I think it's coming really soon. And the best approach for me to be ready when it comes is to have all of my stuff, all my ducks in a row and everything in order, so that when it comes, because I don't know, those that know me know I thrash, and when that boat shows up, there's going to be a lot of all-nighters and whatnot. I won't rush it, but it'll happen very, very quickly, because we want to get out testing and we want to try a bunch of things. So anyways, I've been making kind of a checklist, going down, making sure that I have everything in place so that when the boat shows up, we're not held up waiting for anything. So tonight we're just going to go through the stuff I've got laid out. Got to make a couple changes on a couple things that I screwed up on. We're going to do that, but we're kind of going to just go through this checklist and see the stuff that we have and what we're still waiting on, and kind of show you what I've done over the winter and worked on. So anyways, thanks. Here, enjoy. All right, guys, so here's the project rack. All the stuff that we've got laid out and stuff ready for the Qs1 when it comes. This shelf is dedicated to that. So let's just start from the top. I'm gonna go through some stuff here. So anyway, so I've got my drag cowl that I had last year, and we've just got it cleaned up and it's ready to go. I have my nice carbon seat that Tom Waters built for me, and again, I don't know what the Q is coming with for a seat, and I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to take it out and put the carbon one in, or whether we're going to run whatever it comes with from Jack, so we'll have to see. But anyways, I don't know if you've ever seen this thing, but it is an absolute work of art. It's beautiful. It weighs nothing. So probably going to end up running that one. But anyways, the slip collar, or the slip insert is inside the house. So top shelf. So we got the seat, got the drag cowl, everything's all cleaned up. What I've got here is, when we unrigged the charger, everything I had made for the charger was kind of like removable harnesses with all Deutsch connectors and that sort of thing. So when I took that out, I rolled it up and I set it aside. And I think a lot of it's going to work in the Qs1. I think the length of the boats are going to be very, very close. Everything is either Tefsel or TXL level wire, Deutsch connectors. It's all good quality stuff. It's only 1 season old because I re-rigged the charger all last year. So anyways, that stuff's all there, ready to go. So cleaned up and that sort of thing. So next shelf down, all my AIM stuff is here. We still just run an Evo 4 data logger, but I feel like other than not having a very fancy screen, it logs as good as any of the rest of them, so I'm not super concerned about that. This is another Speedwire switch panel that I'm not using. But anyway, so I've got a divider plate here, new divider plate for the new motor, which we'll get down to here in a minute. We picked up one of the Brendan's billet foot throttles when we were down there. I just really liked all the adjustability and stuff in it. So we got that there. I'm trying to do this one-handed, guys, so it might get a little bit goofy. I've got a spare harness from when we had made up those harnesses, my old foot throttle. And again, it's cleaned up, ready to go in case we end up having to use that. The in control shifter, cleaned up and set aside. So super stoked about this new MPI wheel. I'm gonna try and do this with one hand. So I fell in love with these wheels the first time I'd actually touched one. It's mega lightweight. I got one for John Archer's boat, and the suede material on the wheel feels amazing. I don't know what it's going to be like when it's wet. I don't think it'll be slippery, but I don't know. But I really like it. And what I like about this is I put the trim buttons in here, and you can see here is you can mount the buttons in so many different locations and adjust them in and out, and I really, really like that. So pretty stoked for this wheel. Kind of splurged and bought myself a treat for the Q. So we got that. And control shifter, intake here, covered up. In Pro Stock, there's a couple things that we're allowed to modify. We're allowed to modify the front. We're allowed to modify the adapter plate and tuner. And both of those, this one is heavily modified. We did dyno it, and it actually made a bit more power. But I want to test it on the boat with with the stock intake first, and then this one. So anyways, I'm keeping that cover on there. You don't get to see inside that. So and it was all Cerakoted and stuff. Is pretty cool. This is my switch panel again. I'm going to do this one-handed. Gil had made me I had Gil make a nice new switch panel for the Qs1. Gil at Speedwire. Super stoked with this. What I like about this one, it just kind of fits in the location better that I want, but it's got these chrome switches that are backlit, the new style emergency stop and that sort of stuff. We put the prime circuit in it for Brendan's ECUs, and this is just a nice small little compact unit. I really, really like it. So the boys at Speedwire did that for me. Got that. So, okay, moving down to the next shelf. 2 different adapter plates, 2 different tuners, because I want to try a couple different things. This one's pretty heavily modified. So I'm pretty excited about that, trying that. And then this is a diamond tuner, so we'll get to try both of those. I never had 2 before. ECU from Brendan. If you remember, we spent a fair bit of time on his dyno, and we wrote a really good, really, really nice map for that one. And then I bought the software and learned a lot from him. And I've been playing around with it a lot, and I'm really looking forward to. I have the map that's in my Merc box now. Brett Hamilton wrote, and it's been great. Rob Twible's tweaked it, but then I've tweaked on it a bit too, and I've learned. So really looking forward to just doing my own thing with the map this year. Again, I take pride in doing all of this myself. And I'm looking forward to diving into that and learning. That's going to take a little while. You know, I mean, we've got it made good power in the dyno. It made more power than the Merc box. But I know we need to clean up the hit and stuff, I'm sure. And we're going to get to that. So, and again, I think you saw it earlier on. I had made this switch panel here, or I'm sorry, not switch panel, relay panel. I'm going to break this out here in a minute and go through it because I actually screwed up on this one little area and I got to make a couple of changes to it. So we're going to get to that in a minute. So use the old Bosch 044 pump, bulletproof pump. And then this is why we do this here. I was going through this stuff a little bit earlier, making a checklist. Somewhere I've misplaced my pre-filter. So this is my post filter. We're going to take it apart and clean it up. So make sure it's ready to go. But we got to make a list of the things that are missing so that we're not held up. We got a bunch of push lock hose, new push lock with Parker hose in stock, Speedwire solenoids. Again, if you remember, I always run in the 24 or 36 volt, 2 in series. So that one is in redundant so that it's as a safety. And then my 12 volt up is also Speedwire. And then this year we're going to wire the boat a little bit different. This is continuous duty solenoid. So I'll be able to shut the boat power on and off from that switch panel that Gil did for me through the solenoid. So that's ordered up in place. And just a couple miscellaneous parts floating around. We've got water tubes. I got a big water tube, small water tube, because the one adapter plate takes one and one takes the other. Again, then we're not waiting on some stuff. I got some full spectrum power batteries. I got a bunch of them for the boat. The boat's gonna have 4 or 5 batteries in it. They're down at Joe's right now at Unit 5. He's making some hold downs and stuff for me. So, this is just a little one for the ECU. So that's why it's so small. And then he builds these really nice Unit 5 brackets like that. So anyways, that's there, but batteries are in stock. Next shelf down, that's my new block that we machined when we were down at Brendan machined. That is going to be what I would want to call my A motor. So I'm just waiting for the crank to come back, or the crank to come in. And when it's here, I can put that together. I've got all the other parts. I've got the pistons are there. The rods are over on the bench. We're going to go through that stuff. Trim pump is here. It's all cleaned up and ready to go. 2 gear cases this year. I've never had 2 gear cases, which is super cool. So this was the one I ran last year. And then I don't do the internals, but I've worked it myself. Not saying I worked it right or wrong, but I'm sure learning a whole lot about them. And this gear case worked really good. This was a fast gear case. And then I built a second one here. Again, Paul at Top Gun, built it internally for me, but then I did the modifications and whatnot myself. So this one has a whole bunch more torque tab on it than this one does. So we're going to start with a little bit more on work, but there's been a lot of sanding, a lot of work in the bullet on both of these cases, with advice from people that know. So hopefully I went in the right direction. This is just Rob's Pro Max here. It's just here until he picks it up. And then again, my can and my Geiger clamp and everything is here. I got to clean this stuff all up, which I'll probably do this weekend. That's ready to go. And then we have no idea where we're going to be on setback on this boat or where we need to be. So I've had Brent Bakeware build me an adjustable setback bracket because, again, I don't even know if I'm going to use it. I don't know if we're going to bolt the motor right on the transom or if it's going to setback. But I want to have everything here because when we do get testing, we're going to be under some time constraints because we want to get racing, but we got to do a lot of testing. We got to sort it out. So that's the idea. Let's get all this stuff here. So Brent's got it done. I just got to go over and pick it up. So that's good. So I'm making a list of things that I know that I'm missing. Obviously I caught a filter, which was good. We caught that. I'm waiting for the crank to come so I can put the second motor or I should say the good motor together, the A motor, I think. That should get us rolling. We should be in pretty good shape. go through a couple other things here and show you what we've got in stock. And then I usually keep the stuff here, but I went through and made sure that I have all the colors, the mercury color wires that I need for trim up, trim down, 24 volt trim. I want to do the whole harnesses and ray cam in this boat. So I got lots of ray cam in stock and sheathing, everything's here. So we should be good that way. I've gone through, I'll make sure that I've got all my Deutsch connectors and stuff in stock. There's the rods that we talked about for the new motor. We put new rod bolts in. There's new bearings in the cupboard here. So I think we've got all that stuff. We're pretty good. The motor, as you guys saw earlier, we had it at Brendan's. We spent a week on the dyno. We learned a whole bunch of stuff. So anyways, it's all cleaned up and ready to go. It's ready to drop in. We'll start with the Merc ECU that I ran last year. Again, because I know what the boat ran last year. We've got a good baseline to get started with the new boat. So we'll start with the same ECU. The motor makes a little bit more power. We picked up some power, which is awesome. And we actually turned out that when I was in Bainbridge, it was hurt. And it's healthy now. So I think we're going to be good that way. But I mean, we've got a good starting point there. We're going to start with the same gear case that we ran last year. We're going to start with the same tuner that we ran last year. We'll just start with the exact same combination, new boat, but the same parts that we ran last year. We're gonna log a few more things in the AIM. We're gonna log trim, which is gonna be super cool. So we're gonna have a little bit more input that way. So, anyways, we've got lots to do. We've got lots of stuff here. We just need a boat to show up. Okay, guys. So as we spoke of, I created this relay panel for the Qs1 because for a couple of reasons. I like to run relays on everything, even low current items. I don't know. I just like the idea of a relay. So everything electronic in this boat has its own relay. So the ECM fuel pump, bilge 1, bilge 2, bilge 3. The reason there's 3 bilge pumps is I don't even know if I need bilge pumps. I've never had a bilge pump in my other boat. But I think that sometimes some of these lighter weight race boats like the Qs1 could always take on a little bit of water maybe. They sit so low in the back, thin material and that sort of thing. It's probably going to be fine. I just felt like I would rather have the bilge pumps in the boat. I mean, they're very small, they're light, they don't take up any, and then they're there. So if it happened to take on some water or something like that, it could spit it out. So anyways, and then trim computer, data logger literally pulls like milliamps, so I'm not worried about that. But so everything's got a relay. And the way I built this board's kind of cool. So I use these terminal strips because for easy, quick testing. And here's the thing. Let me turn this camera around and explain this. Drag boat racing is a sport of attrition, meaning when you put that boat when you dump that boat in the water, when they call your class up there, you dump that boat in the water, you go in and you round robin until you're done. Unlike car drag racing or anything like that, there's no rounds, there's no heats, there's no motos. So if you have an issue and you squeak through your heat or your moto or you're passing a car, you go back to the pits and you've got 2 hours till your next round, you can fix all this shit. In a boat, you can't really do that. We go in the water, if it breaks, you're done. So anyways, so I might have been a little bit overkill, but I like quick diagnosis of things. I'm a technical guy and I like to get to the bottom of things really, really quick. So I came up with this idea for the terminal strips where with the terminal strip, there's a terminal strip on the input side, like the switched on, and then this output side switched out of the relay. So I can go there really quick. If something's not working, I can go to the terminal strips really quickly with my meter here. And I know that I'm missing either an input from the switch panel forward, or I've lost an output through a relay. So I can test really quick here. If I don't have any power here on any one of these, then the problem is further up ahead. If I have power here, but I still don't have it here, I know it's in the relays. So basically we can isolate this problem really quickly. And again, after a boat race, if you've had an issue that's put you out, you've got all night to sort this stuff out. But I just like to get to the bottom of it quick. So it just makes for a nice, easy, very quick, easy diagnosis. And I think it works out really nice and it looks tidy and it's nice and neat. We use good hello relays and that sort of thing. So, but what I need to do now where I kind of screwed up is, all the relays share a ground, the ground post. But the fuel pump relay, I want to put through the three-wire kill switch or lanyard I always use those Merc 3-wire ones. I think they're nice because they ground the stator and then they break the ground to the fuel pump. So, but I would never put the fuel pump ground through the 3-wire. I would actually just use the 3-wire to ground the fuel pump relay. Then there's no current going through the input side of the fuel pump relay. So anyways, so what I need to do here now is just isolate the ground from here, put it on its own little pigtail. It'll still be nice and neat, or I can bring it back up through here. And then that way it isolates that ground from here, and it'll kill properly when it's supposed to. So anyways, we're gonna get to work on that. All right, guys, so basically there you have it. Nothing too exciting. I just isolated the fuel pump ground, so it will find its way through the 3-wire Merc lanyard to ground, and that's how the fuel pump relay will ground. So anyways, it's just nice and neat. We'll just kind of tuck that back down there, and anyways, yeah, again, nothing exciting, but we got that fixed. So that pretty much concludes everything that we need to do to be ready for when the Qs1 shows up, that we can go to work and get things done. The switch panel, I'm sorry, I keep calling it a switch panel. The relay panel, as you saw, is repaired and ready to go. I need to order a pre-filter. I don't know what happened to mine. This garage is never messy, but somewhere I've misplaced it. So we got to have that. I've got a plethora of fittings and hose. As you saw, the Parker push locks is all here. Wires here, connectors here. Setback bracket is at Brent's and done. I'm waiting for a crank to put the second motor together, but that's not holding us up because we have a motor. So we've got a gear case and we've got 2 gear cases. We're good to go. So anyways, long and short, I just thought I'd kind of show you how we were preparing. I just saw the shift cable and throttle cables are here and they're cleaned up and again, ready to go. Oh, one more thing too, props. We've been prepared with props. So let me turn around and show you what I've got here. These are all 20 pitch drag props, except that one. That's not mine, that's James's. But anyways, Billy Eves 20 pitch that he had worked for me for my other pro stock boat. 20 pitch Billy Eves prop that was a little bit different for my other pro stock boat. I had a prop from Rich Junker that was worked for my pro stock boat. All of these worked very, very well. And Billy had tweaked on that one. And then, as you know, Billy and I are working together. So I wanted to be ready for the Qs1. Billy had some ideas. So he put me together a new prop for the Qs1 that is here now. It's a work of art. So I asked him, I said, do you want me to send you the other 2, like the other 2 that he had done for me, back to make changes to them for the Qs1? And he said, no, because he said, let's do this one this way. And then the other ones we have to try. So we're ready as far as props go. We even have one, again, purposely built for the Qs1. So trying to be as organized as possible that when this boat comes, we're good to go. Okay, guys, so nothing too exciting. I really wanted to put a video together for you guys. I kind of wanted to explain where I've been and why I've been missing. Again, just, I went through that all with you. So I apologize. So I thought I'd come out here and just kind of go through this stuff. And it's important. It's important that when you're running with deadlines and you need to get stuff done, that you're organized and you make notes and you go through your stuff and see what you have. Because, one fitting, especially in today's, these times that we're living in where everything is so hard to get a handle on, that if you're not ready, if you're not prepared, one little fitting, one little part can hold you up for months and months and months. And I don't want to be that way. So patiently waiting on the boat. I think it's going to be here very soon. And then we get that boat in here, we're going to go to town on it. And I promise you guys, and I've said this in the past, but I promise you guys that we're going to document every step of the way. This project is as much yours as it is mine. You guys have been so awesome and supportive. You ask for the videos and man, I appreciate that. And so I'm learning as we go, and I'm sharing these experiences with you. And I want to share this boat with you. It's as much yours as it's mine. And so we'll get that boat here. We'll get documented. Actually, when it comes in, if I can't get it transported up here very quickly, I mean within like 2 days, like I'm not waiting a week. If it shows up on a Wednesday or something, Jack calls me and says, hey, the boat's here or the boat's ready to go, I'm jumping in the truck and I'm driving down and I'm picking it up, and I'm gonna do round straight there, pick it up, straight home into the garage and start rigging that night because I gotta get testing. And anyway, so I'm gonna share all that with you. If that's the case, we'll get a good video out of going down to pick it up. Rob might come with me. If not, then, you know, we send a transportation company down. If we do, we get it back, we'll go on to it right away and we'll document that. So I just want to thank you guys again. I appreciate you all. Again, I apologize for being missing. I look forward to getting this boat home and getting a rig and get out testing and be able to bring you guys lots of good content, because it's a lot easier when there's racing going on, when there's a boat in the garage and that sort of stuff. So anyways, thank you. Appreciate it all. Love you. Thank you. Please like, share, subscribe as always, and appreciate you all.